Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel if you're coming back, or hello and welcome if you are brand new. Today I'm going to go through and show you guys what it looks like when I set up my budget every month. Now, of course, some of this will be like repetitive over the months, but this is how I would get started if I was starting out for the first time, or maybe even restarting, because everybody gets behind at some point or another. So in front of me, I have just a regular notepad. I do have a budget planner, and then I have a blank monthly and also a debt tracker. So the very first thing that I would do if I was starting out with my budget for the first time, I would take a notepad, and on that notepad, I would write down all income sources, and then I would write down all expenses. So in a budget, you're going to have variable expenses, and you're going to have fixed expenses. And even your fixed expenses can change as well. For example, if your internet bill goes up, say they were running a promotion for the first year, that promotion runs out, and now your bill is $20 more. You're going to want to update your budget to reflect that, because that's $20 that you have to account for. Budgeting is not hard. It's the behavior that's hard. Typically, if you know how much money you have, you know what bills you have to pay, it's very simple math. We're talking about adding and subtracting. However, one Friday you get your paycheck and you only have one or two bills due within that first couple of days, but you only get paid every 2 weeks. So you have to make that money last through the next 2 weeks. So that first week, that first couple of days, you may only have $300 in expenses, but you really want to go to this concert, but you don't think about the fact that a week after that, you still have to be pulling from that money. So you may think, oh, I have money in the bank. I can go get those concert tickets. This sounds great. But then after you've purchased those tickets, you then have these other bills you have to pay, and you're like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. So it's a behavior thing for a lot of people. I struggle with it every now and again. I get stressed out. Who doesn't love some retail therapy? So never any judgment on no matter what your scenario is, or what the situation looks like, or what background you're coming from, or any of those things. This is a starting point. You can make your money work for you versus against you. So first, definitely write down your income. So for this example, I will put the monthly income at $5,000. So $5,000 a month. And that is going to be bi-weekly. And we will do on the 1st and the 15th. So that means that on the 1st and the 15th of every month, paychecks will be received. So we'll put the paychecks at $2,500. Since your paycheck is bi-weekly, it would be $2,500 if your income is $5,000 a month, right? Okay, so that's $2,500, $2,500, so that we know on those dates I received that amount of money. Now, for your expenses, you might have things like a mortgage or rent. You might have electric, internet. You might have a car payment. You might have car insurance, health insurance, and we will put water and trash, and I'm just going to put /gas because mine is combined and it's easier for me to think about like that. Water and trash. And then, of course, we've got gas. We've got groceries. I don't know how to spell. I really don't know how to spell right now. That's fun. Okay, so groceries, and we'll put fun money. So these are just some typical categories that I would basically always have on my budget. Now, all of these will be variables based on where you live, the type of home or place you're living in, renting in, all of those different factors. So tons of variable here. But for mortgage/rent, I will put $1,500. For gas and electric, I will put $200. For internet, I will put $50. For car payment, I will put $400. For car insurance, I will put $165. For health insurance, I will put $350. For water and trash, I will put $100. For gas, I will put, let's do about $200. For groceries, I will put $600. And for fun money, we will put $150. Now, I forgot a zero here. I was going to say $150. That doesn't make sense. So then when you start adding all of these up, that's going to be the total amount of money that you need every month that needs to fit in this category. Does that actually fit there right this moment? I'm not going to lie, I don't have a calculator. So I'll just math it out slowly. Okay, so that's $1,750. We're going to change this to $150 to make my math a little easier. Okay, so we're at $2,300. $2,650, $2,750, $2,950. Okay, so we're looking at roughly $3,700 total. Okay, so that means now if our monthly income is $5,000 and our expenses, including fund money, equal out to $3,700, that means that at the end of each month, we have $1,300 that we can apply. And I mean, you can, of course, everyone should have like 3 to 6 months worth of their expenses saved up for emergencies. A year is actually more preferable, but with that $1,300, I mean, this is where you really want to be like dividing it into savings. You want to probably invest. You want retirement. The more money that you're putting into this fun money category, the less money you'll have to do these things. As a planner, I'm constantly thinking about the future and what that looks like and what I want that to look like and all of those wonderful things. So that's something that you have to factor in when you are budgeting every single month. So once I've gotten through all of this work and I've really written down on scratch paper, just this is what's coming in, this is what's going out, this is what I have left over, and these are my goals. And I've started thinking those processes through, then I can determine what kind of sinking funds I need to have. Because you're always going to be, stowing away money for retirement. You want to be investing. You want to have savings as a backup plan if you ever need it. However, I mean, you might have an older vehicle, or you may currently be renting an apartment and you want to purchase a home. So those are also things you're going to want to factor in here, and you want to start a sinking fund for those things. A lot of us know our cars are not going to last forever. Some of us are blessed to have like a mechanic in the family who can help take care of vehicles, and that is fabulous. Some of us don't. So for those of us who don't, we definitely need to plan for the car not lasting forever. So if you know that, you know, you're driving a 1992 Toyota Corolla or something, then you need to plan for the eventuality that that car is going to go out on you and you're going to need a new vehicle. So that's something you would want to start a sinking fund for. Now, depending on your exact scenario would determine the amount or the importance of this particular sinking fund. Because you can put $100 a month in there and just let it accrue until you're ready to use it or the car goes out. If your car's already having issues, you may want to up that amount of money to taking an entire $1,000 out of these extra funds to make sure that you have money set aside to purchase a vehicle when you need it. I'm pretty sure most of us live in a world where we don't have the luxury of being able to walk to work. Now, if you can walk to work, I mean, hey, save the money. Plus exercise. It can't ever hurt. But a lot of us don't have that option. If you have like a 20, 30-minute car ride to work, it's going to take you a long time to walk there on foot. So just all of those are variables that you have to take into account for your life and what things that you're going to need in the near future. Or if you recently bought a home, but you know that the AC unit is older, then that's definitely something you're going to want to save for, because that's a very large expenditure. And for me, I'm here in the state of Texas. We can't have no AC in the summertime. It's not possible, especially for someone like me who works from home. But now that I've got these written out, I'm going to open up our budget planner and I am going to add them here. So, and I did print out a larger one of these because I figured it would be easier to see than this one is. So I'll kind of try to write on both maybe. But the way that this budget planner has everything broken out is over here is like your housing category, your food category, health category, transportation, personal, loan, entertainment, and then others. So like in this others category, you could like write down any credit cards that you have, or any like variables outside of anything listed up here. So I will go ahead and I will plug these in over here. So I'm going to do, we said 1,500, and then do we have multiple transportation? Okay, so there's insurance down here on transportation. So then I won't write that one. Oh yeah, I didn't put cell phone on there either. It's fine. We're moving right along. Okay, so for electricity, I said 200, and then for water, I think we put 100. And then for internet, we said, $50. There we go. My brain's working today. And then down here, you can write a subtotal. So that would be $1,850. And then for groceries, we talked about 600. And again, your grocery budget, I mean, that's going to vary a ton based on like how many kids do you have, or do you have kids? Is it just you? Do you also have pets? What all are you including in your grocery budget? For me, it's all household products. It's all of the food for me, my family, and my pets. Just because I'm not going to separate those out of pure laziness. So for health, we did health insurance at $350. And then for the car payment, we did $400. For car insurance, we did $150. For gas, we did $200. For maintenance, we did not list anything, which is fine. For personal, I consider this coming out of your fun money, because if you want to go shopping or you wanted to like go get your nails done or your hair done, like that's fun money. That's fun stuff you get to do. So I'm going to put fun money right here. And then we put that at $150. And we're not going to do anything with loans. And then entertainment, I'm just going to leave that one off. Did I grab everything? Yeah, I got everything. All right, cool. Okay, so I didn't do the totals on these ones because apparently my brain stopped functioning. So for health, it's $350. For transportation, it's $750. And then for personal, it's $150. So the total budgeted again is $3,700. And so as you're going through each month, so typically at the beginning of every month on the first, I'm going to go with my significant other. We're going to have a conversation about this is how we did last month. This is what we're looking towards this month. This is what we can expect. These are the, the events and things we have going on, birthdays, etc., that we need to be aware of, holidays coming up, all of those good things, just so that we're both on the same page. I go through and I typically am the one who pays the actual, like, the bills and clicks pay now or whatever. I do that stuff, but we have these conversations, and when we're going through and we're buying things in different categories of our budget, we have discussions so that everyone is aware and on the same page and we're good to go. And so that nobody ever buys like double gifts, because that has happened. Over here, I will put income. So I'm going to flip this in half. I will do on the first, we get $2,500. And then on the 15th, we get $2,500. And then what I'm going to do is, what is this month? Okay, we'll use April as an example. And so the 1st of April was on a Tuesday. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These are really tiny boxes, so I really don't know if you guys can see this very well. Hopefully you can see at least a little bit. I am just numbering the months, the days of the month. Okay, so, and I know I mentioned in a previous video that I use color-coded pens specifically for budget items. So income goes in green, expenses go in red. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write, I'll just write payday on the 1st, and then payday on the 15th. And then what I'll do is I will go through with my red pen and I will mark all of the expenses. So we're going to put mortgage / rent. And I realize it's very tiny and hard to see. I am also going to mark on here groceries. So I'm a weekend shopper, so I typically will have groceries delivered on Sunday. So on each Sunday, I'm just going to go in and write groceries, because there's almost no week where I'm not buying groceries. I'm pretty sure that's at least semi-standard. Now, the amount, of course, will vary based on what sales they have that week, what I already have in my pantry. Hopefully everyone is shopping their pantry prior to shopping the store. If you're not, I will definitely put together a video on menu planning and just kind of walk you guys through my little process that I do on that as well. So I've got grocery here. So then for electric and gas, we'll put that one on the 25th. Electric. And then the internet is 28th. At least that's what it is for me. Of course, these will vary for you guys, for anyone. Car payment, I'm going to put that one on the 16th. And then car insurance, I'm going to put that one on the 12th. And then Health insurance, I'm going to put health half and then health half to show that it comes out of the paychecks. And then water and trash, if I'm not mistaken, it's like the 21st. Water, trash. Okay. And I just want to make sure I got everything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Yep. And then for gas, I don't typically put gas on my, like on my calendar view because it just kind of comes up as it comes up. Some weeks I drive more than other weeks, just depending on what's going on. And then for fun money, I will typically put that here, but I do half here and then half here. So the reason that a lot of budget planners are going to have this monthly view is so that you can visually see what all bills need to come out of which paycheck. Now, of course, depending on your income and your lifestyle and all of those things, you may have one pay period that has more bills than others. Like in this particular setup, it looks like there is more bills coming out of this paycheck than this one. However, this one has the biggest bill coming out of it. That $1,500 mortgage or rent, that's a large chunk of that paycheck. You're only going to have $1,000 left between this paycheck and this paycheck after that mortgage is paid, not including any other bills. So those are things that you have to be consciously aware of when you are setting up like your bills and your budgeting. If you have a setup like that where there is a bill heavy pay period versus a different pay period, then what you need to do is make sure that you are reserving a portion of that lighter paycheck to go towards those bills or paying them early, which is typically what I'll do if I feel like, well, I try to get everything paid as soon as possible so then I don't have to think about it anymore. But anywho, this just visually will help you understand and see what's coming. So I've mentioned it before. I have a giant calendar, like think of like a monthly calendar, but it's gigantic and it's on my wall. And I write all of my bills out on that so that every single day I see what's coming and I can go on there and check those off as I pay them and just, once it's done, I can cross it off my brain to-do list and not feel a little anxious about it. But as you go through, you'll find what works for you and what doesn't. So it may take, like, the first budget you ever set up may not be your forever budget. It's just like planning. It's a living, breathing thing. So the more that you are keeping up with it, the more that you are reminding yourself, these are my goals and this is what I want to accomplish with my money, versus having it just kind of burn a hole in your pocket till it's all gone. Once this is done, once you've got this all set up and you've got your budgeted and then your actuals ready to go, what you're going to do is every single week you're going to come back to this. And you can pick a day. You can be like me and you have multiple days where you are kind of checking in on this, because I do have items that vary, and like I have subscribe and save through Amazon so that those items come out on a certain frequency, but not always on the same exact date. So I always try to keep an eye on those and then log that as it comes through so that I can make sure that my budget stays up to date. And like you can set budget goals and things like that. Just depending on where you're trying to get. Definitely keep track of your savings account. Every quarter, my husband and I, we go through not just like our budget and our savings and all of that good information, but we also we're looking at our retirement accounts. We're tracking those numbers to make sure that we're trending in the direction we want to trend for our retirement and the way that we want to retire. So all of that information is definitely, I'm not going to say it's something that you should be looking at every single day, but definitely something that should be on your radar. Definitely keeping yourself aware so that way you're able to make conscious decisions for yourself, versus feeling stuck. Now, so once your budget is all set up in this planner, you have an expense tracker. So I love using expense trackers. It can be a little bit cumbersome, but just add your date, your description, and then your category. And then at the end of the month, if you've been tracking all of this appropriately, you'll be able to add all of those categories together and then come over here and then add in your actuals. So for example, for me, my electric, I typically have an overinflated budget for that line item for most of the year. But again, I'm here in Texas, so during the summertime, the AC is going basically 24/7. So it does tend to be higher in those months. I do try to keep it down, but man, you're either hot or you're not. Okay, so you've got multiple pages of expense tracking. This particular budget planner does have a debt tracking page and a monthly budget review. So you can analyze your spending. You have a note page here, and then your next page would just be your monthly or your next month's monthly. So the thing here is if you have debt, and that's one of your goals to get out of debt, I love a good credit card debt payoff sheet. So you can list your starting amount, you can list how much each of your icons are, and this particular sheet has 100 icons total. So like if you did 100 icons, that'd be like $10,000, I think. Anywho, so this came from mapleplanners.com. And this is just something that I found that I've used previously. Super cute. They're super awesome. But if you wanted to have use this as a goal sheet, like hang it up in your office or in your bedroom and mark these little icons off every time you make like a payment, it can be very beneficial and very motivating. So always recommend using something like this if you're working on getting out of debt. Turns out I didn't need the big calendar, or I didn't use it. But budgeting is one of those things that it can be frustrating, because things do come up out of the blue sometimes, especially when you have, kids. They have like field trips and things and stuff they want to do with their friends. So sometimes those can get a little bit hectic, but try anything that you think could potentially come up. Try to have like a sinking fund or like a spending category for that. You can also, I know Dave Ramsey talks about like the cash envelope system and stuff like that. I think maybe the cash envelope system would be great if I wasn't so lazy and didn't want to go to the bank, just because it's just so inconvenient. Also, I tend to leave like my purse at home all the time. So a lot of times because I've done it in the past and I've forgotten it at home and been like, well, that's unhelpful at the moment. But using this whole system, reviewing your budget at the beginning of the month and then reviewing it at the end of the month so that okay, well, I had put, $150 in my fun money category, but I spent $250. And I did that the last 3 months. So that tells you that's not enough money in your fun money. If you're constantly going over it and pulling money from other places and it's preventing you from reaching the goals that you want to reach, then that's either you have to modify your behavior or you have to modify your amounts. So as adults, we work hard every day. We all want to be able to enjoy life too, not just go to work, come home, and go back to work and come home. You want to have fun too. You want to be able to enjoy your life, and you should be able to do that. You just have to build out a plan that allows you to do that. So budgeting can definitely help you in that aspect of seeing very plainly, this is what I have. This is what I can do if I stick to my plan. And then that will also allow me to save for things like retirement, save for going on a cruise or a vacation or something like that. because you can always start sinking funds for any of those things. You just have to make sure that you have the income to do so. Because you can't say, oh, I make $5,000 a month, but let me spend $10,000 a month. Because then that will put you in a severe amount of debt, and nobody wants to be under that kind of crushing weight. If you guys have any questions on budgeting in particular, again, like I said, you'll go back through each week and you'll add updates and actuals, and then you'll go through and you'll see what your total actuals were compared to your total budgeted, and then you'll see the difference, and then you can adjust categories based on that. Or if you find that, because if you don't know where all your money goes, 110%, take a minute to go online to your bank statements, print out the last 3 months of bank statements, and you will see exactly where all of your money went. Break it all down into the categories that you spend. So eating out, shopping, going out with friends, on groceries, gas, your regular bills. Because if you can have discrepancies anywhere, but your bank statement won't lie. Your bank statement will be exactly what it is. Yes, sometimes it is a little bit painful to review, even for me. Sometimes I make not so great choices, and that's okay too. We all fall down sometimes. You just got to get back up and keep going. But review your bank statement, see where you're spending your money, see what you think appropriate amounts would be, or what amounts you want to stick to, so that way you can allocate money to your goals and to retirement and to things like that. Once you've done that, write out your budget like this, and then follow your plan. Now, anytime that you're struggling, go back, adjust, see what you can either get rid of to accommodate, giving more fund money, or adding another sinking fund for something that you're going to need in the future, or that you want to do in the future. And then review with yourself and keep yourself honest about what's happening. Because sometimes it's just, well, I was stressed out, so I wanted to go out with my friends for drinks, or I didn't feel so great about not hitting my workout goal for this month, so I went and got crumble cookie instead. Sometimes we are a little, even I do this all the time, where I have like black and white thinking, like it's all or nothing. Either I did everything great or I didn't do anything at all. But just keep trying, keep doing the best you can. Your habits will start to change and improve and all those good things. But that's my process for budgeting and how I try to keep us on our financial goals and the path that we want to be on versus just constantly being out of control. If you guys have any questions on either this planner, which I think I reviewed this in my Temu haul. Yeah, this one came from Temu. I thought it was a great little example planner. But if you guys have any questions on budgeting, on sinking funds, on getting out of debt, those kinds of things, definitely leave me comments. I'm happy to answer any comments you guys have or questions you guys have. I don't know how, well, I can respond to comments, but I can't answer comments. Anywho, I digress. I hope you guys enjoyed sitting with me and kind of seeing the budgeting process that I go through. It does help keep me very accountable, both my husband and I, although sometimes we don't want to be honest about it. I hope you guys enjoyed. You guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks. Bye-bye.